When Mia came home to an empty apartment, no shoes, no couch, no trace of Ethan, she froze. Her keys echoed in the silence. A single note on her pillow read, "You thought I'd never see. I did." Hours earlier, she was laughing with her boss, Derek, over wine. Now, her curated life was unraveling. Ethan wasn't just gone. He'd uncovered her darkest secret. And this was only the beginning. Ethan's keys jangled as he unlocked the apartment door, balancing a grocery bag in one hand. He'd spent the afternoon at the farmer's market, picking out fresh basil and tomatoes for Mia's favorite pasta dish. It was a small gesture, the kind he hoped might coax a smile from her, something he hadn't seen in weeks. The Chicago skyline glowed faintly through the window as he stepped inside, setting the bag on the counter. Mia wasn't home. Another late night at the office. She'd texted earlier. Ethan didn't question it. He never did. He started cooking, chopping garlic with precision, the knife's rhythm steadying his thoughts. Mia had been distant lately. Her responses clipped, her eyes glued to her phone during dinners. Ethan chalked it up to her new promotion, marketing exec at a sleek downtown firm. She was climbing fast, and he was proud, even if it meant fewer evenings together. The sauce simmered, filling the air with warmth, but the apartment felt hollow without her laugh. He checked his phone. No new messages. Just a photo from last summer, them grinning at a Cubs game, her head on his shoulder. He swiped it away. As the pasta boiled, Ethan noticed Mia's tablet on the counter, screen glowing faintly. She'd rushed out that morning, leaving it behind, unusual for someone who guarded it like a vault. He hesitated, then tapped the screen. It unlocked instantly. He'd set up the Face ID for her last year when she'd struggled with the settings. A Slack notification blanked, de vos. Ethan's stomach tightened. Derek Voss, Mia's boss, the one she called all charm, no substance. The message preview read, "You might escape, Mia." Ethan froze, the wooden spoon slipping from his hand into the sauce. He opened the app, his thumb trembling. The chat with Derek wasn't about work. It was a string of late-night messages, playful at first, then intimate. "You get me in ways no one else does," Mia had written last week. "Dinner tomorrow? Just us?" Derek replied. Ethan scrolled, his pulse hammering. Photos loaded, a selfie of them at a dimly lit restaurant. Mia's hand brushing Derek's sleeve, a boomerang of wine glasses clinking. The timestamps matched her team dinners. Ethan's chest burned, not with anger, but with a hollow ache. She hadn't just drifted. She'd chosen someone else. He didn't slam the tablet down. He didn't call her. Instead, he kept digging, driven by a quiet resolve. In a writing app, buried under a folder labeled drafts_personal, he found something worse. A document titled Exit Plan. No preamble, just bullet points, cold and calculated. Frame Ethan as emotionally unavailable. Mention therapy he skipped, lie. Secure friends' sympathy first. Wait for Q3 bonus before moving out. Each line was a blade, carving away years of trust. Mia hadn't just betrayed him. She'd scripted his downfall. Ethan sat on the couch, the pasta forgotten, sauce cooling on the stove. He read the document twice, memorizing every word. She'd planned to paint him as the problem, to walk away clean while he unraveled. The betrayal wasn't just Derek. It was the precision, the rehearsal, the way she'd already decided his role in her story. He copied the file to a USB drive taped under his desk, a habit from his freelance days when he backed up every project. Then he wiped his search history, leaving the tablet exactly as he'd found it. Mia's text buzzed at 9:47 p.m. "Stuck at work? Don't wait up." Ethan stared at the screen, imagining her across town, laughing with Derek over dessert. He didn't reply. Instead, he stood, walked to their bedroom, and pulled a suitcase from the closet. He moved methodically, packing his clothes, his sketchbooks, the small things that anchored him to this life. No yelling, no tears, just action. He unplugged the shared Spotify speaker, rolled up his half of the bookshelf, and took the dog's leash. Their golden retriever, Max, tilted his head, sensing the shift. Ethan scratched his ears. "You're coming with me, buddy." By 11 p.m., the apartment was half empty, stripped of Ethan's presence. He left Mia's things untouched. Her mugs, her laptop, her side of the closet. On her pillow, he placed a folded note, handwritten in steady ink. "You thought I'd never see. I did." He didn't sign it. He didn't need to. As he loaded the last box into his car, parked under the dim streetlights of their Wicker Park building, his phone lit up again. Mia, heading home soon. You okay? He powered it off, the screen going black as he drove toward his sister's place in Evanston. The city blurred past, a smear of neon and concrete. Ethan wasn't running. He was rewriting the ending Mia had drafted, taking control of the story she thought she owned. But as he merged onto the highway, a flicker of doubt hit him. Had he missed something earlier? A sign, a moment, a chance to stop this before it spiraled? He pushed the thought down. It didn't matter now. Mia would walk into that apartment, see the silence he'd left, and know he wasn't the man she'd scripted, a background character too weak to leave. He was already gone. And then, as he crossed the city line, his phone, now on, buzzed with a new message. Not from Mia, but from a name he hadn't seen in years. Jake, her ex from college. Ethan, I know you left. We need to talk. It's about Mia. She did this to me, too. Ethan's car idled at a gas station just outside Evanston. The engine's hum a faint anchor against the chaos in his mind. Jake's message burned on his phone screen. She did this to me, too. He didn't call back. Not yet. The highway stretched dark ahead, and he needed clarity before diving into whatever Jake knew. He pocketed the phone, paid for gas, and drove to his sister's house. Max curled up in the back seat. The weight of Mia's betrayal, her exit plan, the Slack messages with Derek, sat heavy, but Jake's words hinted at something deeper, a pattern Ethan hadn't yet grasped. At his sister's, Ethan unloaded his boxes in silence. Sarah, his older sister, didn't pry when she saw his face. She just handed him a coffee and pointed to the guest room. Max flopped onto the rug, oblivious to the storm. Ethan sat on the bed, USB drive in hand, and plugged it into his laptop. He opened Mia's files again, scanning for anything he'd missed. The exit plan was meticulous. Timelines for leaving, notes on swaying their friends, even a reminder to cry subtly for sympathy. But a new file caught his eye, labeled contingencies. It listed worst-case scenarios. If Ethan finds out, deny and pivot. Claim stress. If proof surfaces, blame his neglect. Every word was a chess move. Mia always 3 steps ahead. His phone buzzed again. Jake, this time with a voice memo. Ethan hesitated, then played it. Jake's voice was low, strained. I saw your name in a mutual's post about you moving out. Mia pulled the same stunt on me in 15. She had a folder, Ethan. Plans to ditch me, make it my fault. She's not just cheating. She's rewriting you out of her life. Jake paused, then added, check her cloud drive. She never deletes anything. Ethan's pulse quickened. He hadn't thought to look beyond the tablet. Logging into their shared cloud account. Mia never changed the password. He found a folder buried under work_archive. Inside, a document titled old_drafts held a letter from years ago, addressed to Jake. I'm sorry, but I need more than you can give. I'll always care, but I'm moving on. Below it, a chilling note. Save for Ethan, tweak later. Ethan's hand shook. Mia hadn't just planned to leave him. She'd recycled a script from her past, swapping names like variables in code. He saved the file to his drive, then texted Jake, call me. Now. Minutes later, Jake's voice crackled through. She messaged me 3 months ago, using a fake wellness account. Asked about my toxic exes. I knew it was her. Same phrases, same vibe. She was testing if I trash talk her, probably to see if she could spin you as the bad guy. Jake's story mirrored Ethan's. Mia's slow withdrawal, her private plans, her knack for turning friends against him. She made me the villain, Jake said. Said I was controlling. My own brother believed her for a year. Ethan hung up, his mind racing. Mia wasn't just unfaithful. She was a strategist, curating breakups like campaigns. He opened his laptop again, drafting an email. Not to Mia, but to their inner circle. 2 couples they'd vacationed with, Mia's book club friend, her sister. He attached screenshots, Mia's exit plan, her flirty messages with Derek, the recycled letter from Jake's breakup. No accusations, no rant, just evidence. He hit send, then shut the laptop. The truth was out, untouchable by Mia's spin. Meanwhile, Mia stepped into the apartment, heels clicking on the hardwood. The silence hit first. No hum of the TV, no clatter of Ethan's sketching pens. Her keys echoed as she dropped them on the counter. The living room was bare. No couch, no rug, no dog bed. Her breath caught. She moved to the bedroom, heart pounding, and saw the note on her pillow. You thought I'd never see. I did. She read it, hands trembling, then checked her tablet. The exit plan folder was open, her own words staring back. Her phone buzzed. Derek, can't stop thinking about you. She ignored it, scrolling through her contacts, but no one had texted. Not yet. She opened her laptop, desperate to regain control. Her cloud drive loaded, and she froze. The old underscore drafts folder was marked as recently accessed. Panic surged. She hadn't touched it in months. She called Ethan, but it went straight to voicemail. Then her sister texted, Mia, what is this email? Attached were Ethan's screenshots, her own words laid bare. Mia's stomach dropped. Friends followed, one by one, their messages sharp with disbelief. She typed a frantic Instagram story. I always try to do right, but deleted it before posting. The narrative she'd built was crumbling, and she had no moves left. Ethan, now at Sarah's, felt his phone vibrate with Mia's missed calls. He didn't answer. Instead, he walked Max along the quiet Evanston streets, the night air sharp against his skin. Jake's call had cracked open a truth. Mia didn't just betray him. She'd done it before, and she'd do it again. But Ethan wasn't Jake. He'd left first, not with anger but with precision. The email was his checkmate, stripping Mia of her story. As he looped back to the house, a new message arrived. Not from Mia, but from her mother. Ethan, call me. I didn't know. Ethan stood on his sister's porch, gripping his phone as Mia's mother's message glowed. Ethan, call me. I didn't know. The Evanston night buzzed with crickets, Max panting at his feet. He didn't call back. Not yet. His email to their friends, screenshots of Mia's exit plan, and her flirty messages with Derek, had landed like a grenade, and he needed to stay steady. He pocketed the phone and walked inside, where Sarah was brewing tea. You okay? She asked, sliding a mug his way. He nodded, but his mind churned. Mia's mother, Linda, was her fiercest ally. If she was reaching out, the fallout was real. Across town, Mia sat on her apartment floor, surrounded by the half-empty space Ethan had left behind. Her phone lit up with notifications, friends demanding explanations, her sister's text sharp with betrayal. She opened Ethan's email again, the screenshots searing, her own words plotting to frame him, her gushing messages to Derek. She tried calling her mother, but Linda's line went to voicemail. Desperate, Mia opened Slack and messaged Derek. We need to talk. Now. His reply was instant. Not a good time. Work's crazy. She stared at the screen, realizing he was pulling back, leaving her to face the wreckage alone. Ethan, meanwhile, drove to a quiet diner off Lake Street to meet Linda. She was already there, stirring coffee, her usual sharpness softened by worry. I saw the email, she said as he sat her down. I didn't know she'd go this far. Ethan stayed silent, letting her speak. Linda revealed Mia had called her an hour ago, claiming Ethan had overreacted to a misunderstanding. But Linda wasn't buying it. She's my daughter, but she's wrong. I found her old journals last year. Same plans, same lies from when she left Jake. Ethan's jaw tightened. Linda slid a small notebook across the table. Read this. It's not just you. Back at the apartment, Mia scrambled to regain control. She drafted texts to friends, claiming Ethan had twisted the truth, but her words felt hollow. She checked her cloud drive again, heart sinking as she saw more files marked as accessed. Ethan had been thorough. She opened a new document, typing frantically, Plan B, admit to stress, apologize, pivot to therapy. But before she could save it, her phone rang. Her sister, Claire. You lied to us, Claire said, voice cold. I saw the screenshots. How could you? Mia stammered, but Claire hung up. The silence that followed was heavier than any argument. At the diner, Ethan flipped through Linda's notebook. Mia's handwriting detailed her breakup with Jake. Control the story. Say he was jealous. Friends will believe me. The parallels to her exit plan for Ethan were uncanny. Linda leaned forward. She's always been like this, planning, manipulating. I thought she'd changed with you. Ethan closed the notebook, his resolve hardening. He thanked Linda and left, driving back to Sarah's. He wasn't just escaping Mia. He was dismantling her playbook. Mia, now alone, opened Instagram and posted a vague story. Sometimes love breaks you, but you keep trying. Comments trickled in, but none from their close circle. She refreshed her feed, desperate for support, but found a new post from their friend Mark, a photo of him and Ethan at a brewery, captioned, "Good to see you, man. Mia esse chist tightened." Ethan wasn't crumbling, he was moving on, and their friends were with him. She called Derek again, but he didn't answer. A new Slack message arrived instead. "Mia, we need distance. This is too messy." Derek was cutting her loose. Ethan sat in Sarah's guest room, Max asleep at his feet. He opened his laptop and drafted a new email, this time to Mia alone. "You plan to erase me. I'll let the truth speak instead. Jake's story, your mother's notebook, your files, they're all out there now. You can't rewrite this." He attached a photo of the notebook page, then hesitated. Sending it felt final, a door slamming shut. But he hit send, knowing she needed to face the consequences. His phone buzzed. Jake again. "Found something else. She's been emailing a lawyer. Check your joint account." Mia's laptop pinged with Ethan's email. She read it, hands shaking, the notebook photo blurring as tears welled up. She opened their joint email account, searching for the lawyer Jake mentioned. There it was, a draft to a divorce attorney, outlining how to minimize Ethan's claims and secure assets. She hadn't sent it yet, but Ethan had seen it. Her carefully built world was collapsing, and for the first time, she had no script to follow. She grabbed her sunflower mug, seeking comfort, but found another note inside. "You'll think this is about Derek. It's not." Ethan walked Max under the Evanston stars, his breath visible in the cool air. Jake's warning about the lawyer confirmed Mia's endgame. She'd been planning to blindside him legally. But Ethan was done being her pawn. He called Jake. "Send me everything you have," he said. "I'm ending this on my terms." As he hung up, a text from Linda arrived. "Mia's coming to see me. She's scared. What's next?" Ethan didn't reply. He'd already set the truth in motion, and Mia was about to learn what it felt like to lose control. Ethan sat at Sarah's kitchen table, his laptop open, Max dozing nearby. Jake's latest email had just arrived, a zip file of old messages from Mia, sent to him years ago, outlining how she'd spun their breakup to mutual friends. The pattern was clear. Mia didn't just leave. She orchestrated exits, planting seeds of doubt to paint herself as the victim. Ethan forwarded the file to their inner circle, adding a single line, "This isn't new. She's done it before." He didn't wait for replies. He shut the laptop and drove to a coffee shop in Chicago's Loop, needing space to think. Linda's text about Mia visiting her lingered in his mind. Whatever Mia was planning, he'd stay one step ahead. In Lakeview, Mia parked outside her mother's brownstone, hands gripping the steering wheel. She'd barely slept, Ethan's email with the notebook photo looping in her head. Her friend's silence stung worse than their questions, and Derek's abrupt retreat left her isolated. She walked to the door, clutching her phone like a lifeline. Linda answered, her expression unreadable. "Sit," she said, pointing to the kitchen. Mia tried to speak, but Linda cut her off. "I read Ethan's emails. I saw your journal. You planned this, Mia." "Why?" Mia stammered. "It wasn't like that. I was stressed, confused." Linda slid a printed email across the table. Ethan's screenshots of Mia's exit plan. "This isn't stress," Linda said. "This is you." Ethan sipped his coffee, scrolling through Jake's files. One document stood out, a screenshot of Mia's email to a friend from 2015, claiming Jake had been emotionally draining. It was a lie, crafted to isolate Jake. Ethan recognized the tactic. Mia had started dropping hints to their friends about his distance months ago. He opened his phone and texted Sarah. "Can you check Mia's socials? She's with Linda now." Sarah replied quickly. She posted a story. Just a quote. "Truth hurts, but I'm still here." Ethan shook his head. Mia was trying to claw back control, but the truth was already out. Mia left her mother's, her throat tight. Linda hadn't yelled, but her disappointment cut deeper. "Fix this," Linda had said, "or you'll lose more than Ethan." In her car, Mia opened her email, finding a new message from their friend Anna. "I need space, Mia. I can't unsee those screenshots." Panic surged. She drove to Derek's office downtown, hoping he'd help her navigate the fallout. But his assistant blocked her at the door. "He's in a meeting," she said, voice clipped. Mia spotted Derek through the glass, avoiding her gaze. She turned away, her phone buzzing with a new text from Claire. "I'm done, Mia. You lied to me, too." Ethan returned to Sarah's, where Jake had sent another message. found an old email from Mia to a lawyer. She was planning to freeze my accounts before leaving me. Ethan checked their joint bank account online. Sure enough, a pending transfer to a new account in Mia's name sat unprocessed. He called the bank, citing unusual activity, and froze the account before Mia could act. Then he emailed the lawyer's contact from Mia's draft, attaching her exit plan and a note. I'm aware of Mia's intentions. I've secured my assets and shared her plans with our circle. Proceed with caution. He hit send, feeling a quiet resolve. Mia's legal maneuver was dead before it began. Mia, now back at the apartment, opened her banking app and saw the frozen account. Her breath hitched. She called the bank, but they confirmed Ethan had flagged it. Furious, she dialed Ethan again, but his voicemail greeted her. She slammed her phone down, then noticed her sunflower mug on the counter. Inside, Ethan's note stared back. You'll think this is about Derek. It's not. She crumpled it, her hands shaking. Her phone pinged, an email from the lawyer. Given recent developments, I cannot represent you. Your husband provided documentation. Mia sank to the floor, the weight of her exposure crushing her. Ethan walked Max along Lake Michigan's shore, the waves steadying his nerves. Sarah called, her voice urgent. Mia's posting again, some vague apology about mistakes. Friends aren't buying it. Ethan nodded, unsurprised. Mia's attempts to rewrite the story were failing. The screenshots were too raw, too undeniable. He texted Linda. I'm not trying to destroy her. I just want the truth out. Linda replied. She's unraveling, Ethan. She's talking about therapy, but I don't know if she means it. Ethan didn't respond. Mia's promises felt like another script. As he returned to Sarah's, a new email arrived from Mark, their brewery friend. We're with you, man. Mia's out of our group chat. Ethan exhaled, the support grounding him. But Jake's next call brought a jolt. Mia contacted me again, Jake said, through a burner email, asking if I'd set her up with you. She's desperate, Ethan. She knows she's losing. Ethan gripped the phone. Mia wasn't just fighting to save face. She was trying to turn the tables, to make him and Jake the villains. He opened his laptop, ready to counter her next move, knowing this wasn't over yet. Ethan stood in a pottery studio in Evanston, hands shaping wet clay, the wheels hum steadying his thoughts. 6 weeks had passed since he left Mia, and her latest move, a burner email accusing Jake of conspiring with him, had fizzled. Their friends, armed with Ethan's screenshots, dismissed her claims. His phone buzzed in his pocket, but he ignored it, focusing on the clay. He was rebuilding, piece by piece, a life no longer tethered to Mia's scripts. Sarah had enrolled him in the class, insisting he needed something new. The clay felt honest, grounding, a stark contrast to the chaos he'd left behind. In Chicago, Mia sat in a therapist's office, her first session, arranged after Linda's ultimatum. She twisted her hands, struggling to explain herself without spinning a story. The therapist asked pointed questions about accountability, forcing Mia to confront her plans, her exit plan, the recycled breakup letter, the frozen bank account. She admitted to the affair with Derek, now a professional liability as he'd reassigned her to a lesser project at work. I thought I was in control, she said, voice cracking. But I lost everyone. The therapist nodded, assigning her homework. Write an honest letter to Ethan, no excuses. Mia left, unsure she could do it. Ethan wiped clay from his hands and checked his phone. A text from Claire, Mia's sister, read, She's in therapy. She's trying, but it's rough. Ethan didn't reply. He'd stopped tracking Mia's moves, but Claire's message stirred a flicker of something. Not hope, but acknowledgement. He drove to a nearby park, Max bounding ahead, and sat on a bench, scrolling through an email from his bank. The joint account was fully dissolved, his assets secured. A new message from Jake popped up. Mia emailed me an apology. First time ever. You? Ethan shook his head. Nothing from Mia, and he didn't expect it. Mia, back at her apartment, stared at a blank document on her laptop. The therapist's task loomed, but every sentence she typed felt like a trap. She wanted to apologize, but the words came out rehearsed, hollow. Her phone was silent. No text from friends, no calls from Derek, who'd blocked her after the project reassignment. She opened her email, finding a forwarded message from her former book club friend. Mia, we can't move past this. Your plans hurt us all. She closed the laptop, grabbed her sunflower mug, and poured coffee, but the note inside, Ethan's last words, stopped her. She tossed it in the trash, a small act of defiance, but it felt empty. Ethan met Mark at a brewery in Logan Square, the same one from Mark's post that had rattled Mia. Over beers, Mark shared that their friend group had officially cut ties with her. She tried calling Anna, but no one's biting, Mark said. Ethan nodded, unsurprised. He'd sent one final email to the group, including Jake's latest evidence of Mia's burner email, ensuring her attempts to rewrite the narrative failed. Mark raised a glass. To new starts, man. Ethan clinked his glass, feeling lighter, the weight of Mia's betrayal lifting with each step he took away from her. Mia drove to her mother's, clutching the half-written letter to Ethan. Linda read it silently, then set it down. It's a start, she said, but it's not enough. You need to mean it. Mia's eyes welled up. I don't know how, she admitted. Linda handed her a card for a support group, urging her to keep going. On her way out, Mia's phone buzzed. A work email demoting her to a junior role. Derek had cited team dynamics, but she knew it was his escape. She sat in her car, the letter crumpled in her hand, realizing the life she'd curated was gone. Ethan walked into a grocery store, Max's leash in one hand, a list in the other. He turned down the frozen aisle, grabbing a pizza, when a voice stopped him. Ethan. Mia stood there, holding a basket, her posture stiff. He met her gaze, expecting anger or pain, but felt nothing. Hope you're doing okay, he said, voice calm, and moved past her. Mia didn't follow. She watched him leave, her basket heavy with items she didn't need, the silence between them louder than any argument. Back at Sarah's, Ethan signed up for another pottery class, his first piece, a small, uneven bowl, sitting on the shelf. He texted Claire, "Thanks for the update. I'm moving forward." Claire replied, "She's got a long road. I'm glad you're okay." Ethan set his phone down and took Max for a run, the lakefront path stretching ahead. He wasn't the man Mia had scripted, weak, dependent, erasable. He was free, building something new, while Mia faced the consequences of her choices alone. Mia returned to therapy, her letter to Ethan still unfinished. She joined the support group, sitting quietly as others shared their stories. Her demotion stung, but the loss of her friends and family's trust cut deeper. She mailed a brief note to Ethan. No excuses, just, "I'm sorry. I was wrong." She didn't expect a reply, and none came. As she poured coffee in her mug the next morning, she noticed it felt different. Lighter, unburdened by hidden notes or secrets. It was just a mug now, and she was just starting to face herself,